Hey everybody, welcome back to Workers and Resources. Hope you're having a great day. We're getting lots of progress done on the roads for our Charlemagne's North expansion. I got a whole bunch of worker bees just going around delivering lots of stuff, including all the mechanisms and stuff that are needed to flatten it all out. And we got offices from every part of our republic. We got the road crews from over in Charlemagne's. They're coming over here. Generally, they're starting on that side. So you see the road crews over there. Helicopters have chosen to start over here, which kind of makes sense since these roads were the first to be placed. So they kind of auto-search these first on their list, I suppose. That's good. Zernovsky's office is doing a lot of this stuff, so that's why this is kind of more done than everything else. They've also started working on over here and over here, right? We've got our any concrete that's needed for like the tunnels and stuff. That's coming from this source right here, so very locally sourced and everything. Looks pretty good. And then there's also this construction office that's been placed right next to the asphalt plant, and that is responsible for bringing the asphalt from this location. So overall, lots of progress being made, not just by look at all these guys. Dun, 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 dun. Now I'm getting some jitteriness in the game. Frame rates and stuff are really going all over the place. And that really didn't happen before. And it's because I'm now on the new version of the game. Yeah, we fixed the textures. We got it taken care of. Thanks. The devs are awesome. And special shout out to Vimes as well for sticking with me and trying to help me out. I appreciate that quite a bit here. A really good community around this game. But now I'm getting a lot of stuttering now. I'm not entirely sure. Well, I'm on this version for good now, though, because I just spent an hour and a half doing this. The spaghettification of tunnels that is going to allow people to move in and out of our highway system right through here. And in order to make this work, I actually had to tear out the roads here as well. I needed to tear out the roads so that I can move the terrain back a little bit. And so that's what I've done. I also maybe will have another one to make right here. So I'm kind of leaving this open right now. But you know, there's a little road here that's kind of just sticking out here in the middle of nowhere, kind of holding down and reserving this space. But for the most part, everything is connected in such a way that it's going to allow us to get on and off the highway from all directions to all directions. There's some stuff that's happened here, all right? But it's going to work. I think it's going to be freaking awesome to see cars and trucks and buses and all sorts of things just zipping around, going all over the place here. I think it's going to be great. Now, there's a new warning that pops up here. Oh, I don't want this building to be done. Let's just go ahead and cancel that right now. There's a new building. Not a new building. There's many new things in this update. But there's a new warning that you're going to start seeing pop up all over the place. And if you updated to the game recently, you're probably getting this yourself as well. Let's get away from this because maybe that's where there's just jittering everywhere. So I don't know. But there's a new warning it's a pollution warning. All right. We didn't have this before, but now we do. All of our pollution monitoring stations now come with some new settings. And we can tell it. You have to do this on an individual basis, which is a little annoying, but I guess there was no way for them to like apply settings retroactively. I think a really easy solution to this would have been just to give me a copy button, just like your standard offices have. And then I could have just copied settings everywhere. But yeah, so we're going to get pollution warnings a lot because if pollution ever gets over a certain threshold, it'll notify you. But I'm noticing it never hitting that threshold and still notifying me. Hence the reason why I say 25% and 110. If the maximum is 98, that means it never hit 110, right? I don't know. But I think generally what I'm going to end up doing here is probably just going ahead and turning off the notifications for these entirely because I'm not finding them very helpful. I'm finding them annoying. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn them off pretty much everywhere. And I have them individually set for all these places too. So I just got a new message and yet it doesn't seem like it's over these values, but I'm still getting notified for it. So you have to go through these one at a time for each of them having individual settings and turning it off, which is a little annoying. Yeah. I wanted to show you guys that we are on the new version of the game. And so hopefully this means that we'll be able to take advantage of some of the really cool features that this version of the game has, like being able to have a, right here, for example, being able to do something like this. So normally in the previous version up until now, this is 2 construction projects, 1 and 2, right? There's no way for me to combine those jobs, but with this version, I can just drag all the way to it and it'll do that. Now, it still appears to make them 2 separate jobs. And that's unfortunate. I would really have liked to have seen them be completely combined as to 1 job, but that apparently does not happen here. I can see it. Well, maybe it does. I don't know. Like, I was highlighting the whole thing, so maybe it does. This is the way I thought it was supposed to be. This is kind of off topic for what we're looking at here. So if you're coming this way, I'll just walk you through it, right? Because I think people might be interested to know what I've done over here. All right. So if you're coming from this direction, you're going to get into here, and there's a couple of different things that'll probably happen. This is an on-ramp. It's coming from this side. So people who are coming from this bridge right here, they'll get in this tunnel. They come around. All right. And they get into here. And that allows them to transfer from this side going that direction to this side going that direction. Okay. And this is an on-ramp that happens right before this road, which is going to be to a gas station, which is a one-way gas station. All the cars going this way can stop at this gas station and get out here. Now, if you're going to stop at this gas station, though, man, the jitteriness is actually pretty bad right now. Maybe we'll go down to normal speed and see if that helps. I don't think it does, but maybe it does. There's so many helicopters doing things, man. So if you're getting in the gas station, then you can't get off this exit, but I think that's probably okay. This exit is for people coming up here. So if you get into this tunnel, you're going to move yourself around and you'll get on and then head this way. Okay. So we'll probably have gas stations, you know, probably at the gas stations, like at one of these corners here, maybe 2 of these corners, just so, you know, if you're getting off the freeway here, you don't have to stop at this one. You can probably get to one that's over here instead. Yeah, probably. What we'll do. This also comes out and merges. So if you're heading this direction and you want to turn around, you can do so without having to engage with a roundabout or any intersections that are over here in the touristy area, right? You don't have to do that. You can instead come through here and you can then just come right through here and you get to go through this tunnel, which takes you around and brings you here. Okay. And that also kind of merges with this other off part here. So if you're coming this way on the freeway and you want to exit, you can also take this road, which then just brings you out and takes you going this way. Yeah. Then we've got this tunnel. And this tunnel is a little different because I'm having a hard time trying to figure out how to get this side of the highway in this area to be able to go both directions on this bridge, because there's already a lot of tunnels underneath here and I can't get any more of them. So I kind of was a little bit sneaky as I'm snaking underneath this one and bringing them out over here on this side. Now, since you're on this side of the highway, that's going to let us go that way. But what I've done here, that's why I say it's a little sneaky, is I'm letting them get out of the highway here, and then they can either merge this way to go that way if they want to, or they can come out this side and go up this bridge, which just kind of loops them around, and now you're on this side of the highway. There's also a way for these guys to merge onto this too, because this also leads, merging there, it also leads into this tunnel, which takes them around and brings them that direction. So hypothetically, let's say you're heading this direction and you want to go this direction. You could take this tunnel, take this off ramp right here, and you can come right through here and turn around and get in this tunnel, which takes you around and brings you out here and go. I think it works for me. We got this tunnel here, of course, that's going to bring people up here. So if you're heading this direction and you want to go this way, you can do so from this one. And you have 2 choices at that point. You can either come out and merge onto this road, or you can keep going on this one, which takes you into the roundabout to go left or right or whatever there, or turn around and go this way if you want to. There's a turnaround in every single one of these areas for the roundabouts, they all have turnarounds, so you can use them that way too. Yeah. Very similar thing here, except it's an on-ramp. Takes them down into here and drops them off on that. On this side, there's also a one-way gas station parked right there above the metro, and then there's obviously the one right there too. And so yeah, there's your highway on-ramps and off-ramps, man. Yeah, there is another cool one here. I had to go, and this is kind of an American thing. I don't know if they do this in Europe or other places, but I've noticed a lot of comments online that kind of states that. I mean, I'm not saying we're unique, but it's less common, I think, worldwide. And maybe newer highways are starting to do it more. But we use both sides of the highway for our exits and entrances, okay? So there's a lot of times in highways where you actually merge. We drive on the right side of the road, right? So merge on the left side of the road. Or get off the freeway on the left side of the road. Even though the highway is organized with, two roads. We do that pretty frequently in the United States. And so we're going to do that here too, except instead of a bridge that goes over top because it's messy, it's a tunnel, which is kind of more messy, but since you don't see it, it doesn't matter, right? So it comes over underneath and then pops you in right here. And then you get out. And at this point, once you merge onto here, you then have the choice of either going that way or shifting and going this way. So there you go. There's our traffic system. And we're going to go ahead and submit that and let the helicopters get to work, man. And let all of our road crews get to work because it's going to take a long time to make these things, but that's okay. This area is a long-term project. We're starting construction on the stuff that doesn't require maintenance now. And hopefully we can see some amazing progress over time. Excuse me. What is this? Track builder, what are you doing? You're ruining my life right now. So you don't have a fuel station on your way anymore. Oh boy. So this is the one that does... Oh, there's no fuel station for this. So your route takes you this way. If you decided not to... I mean, you can choose a different path. You could have chosen a different path. This is a problem-ish. I guess not. It kind of takes one train out of commission, but it doesn't get in anybody's way because the two tracks are done here. So this train's just going to come through here, and it's going to merge onto this one, and they'll stop at the stop over here instead, which is the reason why there's two tracks here, and which is the reason why there's a crossing here, so the trains can do that and bypass each other. But it's just... I'm gonna have to figure out how to remedy that right there. What's going on with traffic jams? You're telling me there's a traffic jam on the road that's being constructed, you silly Billy. You might notice also that the new version of the game has a different look for nighttime. Just a slightly different color. It's a little brighter. They went ahead and did that because night times was pretty dark. If you want to change it back to the way it was, I'm sure you could probably do the same thing with Night INI like I did in the previous version, right? What are you doing? This is what happens when you don't do lights, by the way. I wanted to just inform you, this is what happens when you don't do lights. You get this. I've had so many people say it's because you're relying on lights instead of yields. No, there's a reason lights exist. Lights have an actual function and purpose in the game for things that are high volume. Lights have a purpose, and there you go. This is why you get really, really backed up here. That said, though, if we just let it go for a little while, it might work itself out. So I've also got a little bit of cleanup work to do over here near the meats. So I'm getting another livestock farm going on right here, and that's going to complete this little section. We then can get the other section going later if we want to, but we're going to go ahead and get that going. Now, the livestock is nearly full here, but I've added a couple more trucks that can load. And so we're going to have even more trucks being able to push it down over towards meat. And so I'm looking at our meat factory here. And I'm seeing that the cold storage inside the slaughterhouse, it just keeps filling. And that's a little bit of a problem, isn't it? Yeah, it is. So I need to redo this so that it's a little bit better. And it's going to require tearing some stuff out here. And so temporarily, we're going to lose our access to local meats. I have not taken the border away from the distribution office, so it does come over here and grab it now. It's been doing that for a while now. So we are locally sourcing our own meats, but when I disconnect this stuff, we're only going to have this for a little while. So we got a little bit of a cushion here, about 162 tons. That's realistically less than a month worth of meat, but it's still something. So what we're going to do is we are going to dismantle this one. And I think that's probably the only one I need to do. But in order to get everything in here a bit tighter, I'd like to add another one of these offices. So I'd like to go to 8 forklifts if I could. And I think I'd like to do that a little bit more compact so that I can get another meat storage directly on this and expand the internal storage of this building by about 75 tons. So I want to put another meat storage right here so that it feeds into that, and then these guys will pull it out of that storage and put it into these two. I think that's how I'd like to play that out. So in order to do that, I'm going to have to get rid of all of this stuff. So we're just going to get rid of all of it. All right. So we'll let them work on that for a little bit, and demolition offices should be right away being able to see this stuff. They should be able to see it. We're basically just pulling meat out of this building specifically now, which is fine. My local distribution office that provides meat to Zernovsky has been told the entire time to pull meat directly from this building, so it should be fine, at least for the local supply. But we are going to see the livestock pile up here and all sorts of things. I probably should add a gas station over here too for these trucks. They're just going back and forth between these two places, and if they ever need fuel, then that requires them to deviate a little bit. If I added like a tiny gas station here, that might help. I got room for the fields too, so I could move these fields back and just put the gas stations like right here at the corner. That would work. I've also got a distribution office, or sorry, a tactical service office being built right here. So this is almost done, and that tactical service office is just for garbage and stuff. Yeah, done. So we're gonna have garbage trucks. I want. We actually have small containers and large containers that we're dealing with, but I've got this big one here that's supposed to be handling all the bio waste, and maybe not all of it, but I want like most of the bio waste to be going in here. So I got a lot of supply for that. And this right here is overloaded with bio waste and fertilizer, I suppose. It's mixed waste, right? So they got a lot of mixed waste going on in here. And I kind of don't like this building because it's so freaking full. So I need garbage to take that out too. So I think what I'm going to do with this office, something a little different than I've done with the other offices, I think. We're going to grab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like maybe like that. Yeah. And then let's add 1 snowplow in here just because. We'll add this one. Or I overclicked. Never mind. Guess I can't. All right, so we'll have that. And then what we're going to do for you is we're going to say that your mixed waste, we're going to have you send mixed waste here. But biological waste, you're going to the border with it. And that's just going to be the way it is. You're just going to go to the border. It's not really that different than other offices, I guess. We're just going to do that. Let's make sure that this is the correct yield. There we go. And all things are good there. So we should see these guys pick up this waste. I'm wondering if I can make a more direct route for you. You don't have to get on the road. I probably should have thought of that. But I was trying to place this real sneaky with the tunnel, and I kind of went a little too far. I wanted it to be right up against the tunnel, and I went a little too far. This side here, though, I did okay. It doesn't overlap. It doesn't clip. So I'm getting traffic jams and stuff over here on the highway because they got to get here to drop off the concrete, but they couldn't get out because these are one-way streets, and this highway here isn't completed yet, and so they can't get out. So I've gone and I've just made this area a two-way again, so I'm hoping that that's going to fix the problem. I imagine it would. Yeah, they should be able to just drop things off, turn around, go back the other way now. No big deal. But sometimes you got to do that. You got to pay attention to, how your stuff is constructing. And the one thing I like about this, though, is that the entire series we've been going like little dots, right? Like you have to go here to here. That's one way. And this is one way. This is one way. You have to do that, right? For every single one of these. But because of this new update, we can go to this point and we don't have to unclick. We can just go to this point. Yeah. So that's really nice. I can now do all of these one-way streets here, for example, can be done, like roundabouts and stuff, can be done without having to do all the individual little segments anymore. So I like that a lot. It's been great. So, if, for example, if I wanted to, make this two-way, I could just do this now, which is, I guess I can't do it all the way, can I? Because it kind of decides to go the other direction. So it's not quite as seamless as I thought on a roundabout, but yeah, for stuff like this, it's really nice because there's a lot of like little tiny bits here. Normally I'd have to go like little sections over and over again, like I've been doing the entire series. But now I can just say this whole thing is a one-way, or this whole thing is not one-way, right? I can do that, which is really, really helpful. If I want to make it one-way, of course, I just come over and do this. I don't like the jitteriness of this update. There's certainly something that needs to be done with performance, but quality of life stuff is I'm loving that. It's definitely great. I really need to get more people working in this chemical area. Oh my God, the frame rates are awful. Until I pause and then I'm fine, but Jesus. I might not be able to get there, guys. I don't know, I'm worried. I'm not going to be able to get to like 200,000 people, We'll see. Maybe optimizations will happen for 1.0, but all right. So what we're going to do, we're going to put this meat storage right about here. And I should see from this the ability to go like this and like that. There we go. And then you can connect there, you can connect there, and then all of these things just connect up like so. So it's definitely an improvement to the capacity of this place. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, I kind of feel like maybe it would be a good idea to put this here, just because I may want to expand this even more to a third forklift. Now, I'm not sure if that's going to be necessary, but I may want to. And so this right here will give me the ability to do that later if I decide to. Hi, autosave. It'll be able to do something like this. Yep. Which is pretty good. Now, some of you guys might even point this out. And, now that I'm looking at it, I didn't see it ahead of time. And if I had seen it ahead of time, this would have been way easier. These serve as junctions, too. So you don't need these if you have these, really. So I could have. And it's too late now. I'm because this one's over here. It's too late. I don't want to tear it down. It's fine. But I could have done this and this. And then the forklifts would have just, sort of passed through. I don't know whether or not they're allowed to do multiple passing through a building at one time, But that could have been an option. And I'm not going to redo it because I've already got kind of my plans in place here, and that's fine. But yeah, we'll have Charlement's office handle this, and helicopters can handle some of these, I suppose. Yeah, maybe not all of them, but they can handle some of them. We'll have the Charlement's offices do that. And then when this is all done, we'll then be able to process more livestock. Yeah, because right now everything's kind of at a standstill with that. We can pause this maybe. I don't think it's necessary. Okay, now one thing I'm not understanding here is why aren't these vehicles, why aren't they doing anything? Because there is absolutely a ton of trash right here, and you can totally reach it. It's biological waste and fertilizer. It's mixed waste, right? I'm not really sure what's going on with my voice, but it's gone. That's the only thing I know is that it's gone. Let's take mixed waste to the border too. Maybe that will get this thing to move. There we go. That'll get this thing to move. Another bug I'm running into, and I don't know if this is specific to me or what, but it's only happened in this latest update, is that garbage places are not serving the buildings that are closest to them anymore. And it's a little bit weird. So for example, this kindergarten is overflowing with garbage right now. There's no reason for that to happen because there's a garbage right here, but it's not in range. It says it's not in range. Very weird. It should be in range of this building even, but it's not. None of these are. And you might think there's something wrong with my paths. Well, there isn't, because there's a path right here connected to that, and there's a path right here connected to that. It's just not close enough, apparently, which is really weird. I have to delete this and move it there, and now it's close enough. Still not close enough for this, though. Just really bizarre. So maybe if I go, and this is what I'm saying, it's a little bit weird. I could go like this and then like that. Maybe then it'll be close enough. And now it is. Even though it's only using you can see the path. It's right there on the sidewalk. But it wasn't close enough for this unless I did this weird thing. So I had the same thing happen over here, and I've already corrected it, to where this right here was not getting garbage from the Technical University. It was saying it wasn't close enough. It should be getting it from this too, but it wasn't. Nothing was happening with it until I added this extra path right here. So I had this one curving into that, and it wasn't good enough. So what I had to do is curve it into this, still not good enough, and then I went from here to here, and now it's good enough. It didn't make any sense because it's clearly in range, 44 meters, right? Even this stuff is under 100 meters away. But I'm having that all over my Republic right now, and so I'm having like little bits of like pollution problems and health crisis types things. I've been trying to like patch those up, and it's part of the update process, right? Just things change. All right, it's early November, and they've just got almost everything done. I guess there's still a few pieces that are missing here, but they're working on it. This is nearly completed. Only 60 days left in it, and then we still got some work to do over on these things here. I sort of took the high priority off of these and actually just placed it on this now because they can make these way faster than they can make these, and it's actually different offices that are responsible for them too, so it didn't make any sense. Anyway, so when we get this done, we can then get our meat brought back in and connected because we're completely out now on this, and we're probably going to start getting people upset with us, unless, of course, the distribution office, which already has a ton of things to do, maybe that will get to the border in time and do it. It's got enough capacity, I think, for about 100 what is it, like 180 tons or something like that of meat per trip, something like that. So anyway, so this can now get flooded into here. Very nice. And now we just need this to be connected to this instead of that. Very good. We will load meat from there, and we will place it in this building, and they will spring to life and do the thing. Now I have to wait to connect this, but at least we can start processing and getting meat going again with all of that, and looking pretty good. I've also added a gas station right here. I was talking about getting gas stations and stuff for those trucks. I've added one right here, so if any of those trucks need to refuel, they just need to turn right, go get the fuel, and then go back on their route. It should be pretty straightforward, and this is not a very busy road, but I think eventually we'll get this paved as well. Speaking of paving it, I kind of feel like maybe it's time to just complete this, We got most of the asphalt parts of that done, although we still have so much asphalt to do over here, and that's a really unimportant thing. So tell you what, as soon as this entire project is completed, I'll work on getting this stuff paved. Maybe I do now. I don't want to pave the entire path right here because that's going to promote cars to use it. I would rather they use this for the capacity reasons. So I'm going to leave this as gravel. I'm going to hope that little segment right there being gravel will dissuade them from using this road unless they need to. The other thing I might do is just leave a little segment over here as gravel too. But I really want this done for the roundabout reasons, and this just because of aesthetics. It's really just about looks and getting these guys to go the proper direction around here and everything. But again, it's not high enough volume for it to matter, at least not yet. But if we start getting these guys connected to their own parking lots and stuff and start getting them able to drive, that's going to change things a little bit. And in fact, I think I do want to give them a parking lot right over here where they could get in cars and go where they want to go from this side. I think right about here would be fine. And we would then want to pave this. So we would have this be paved to here, and then probably we could get this going asphalt too, I think. It's probably okay to have this be asphalt. It's a really low volume road right now, but if we're going to do personal cars, then that changes. Now, this road is doing funny things again. More shenanigans with roads. I'm telling you. Tell you what, since it is such a low volume road, why don't we go ahead and get rid of over to about and let's start it here, and we'll go about here, try to clean that up, and we'll redo it as asphalt. Then there's a different graphic now when you destroy things. I've been seeing this a lot too. So everything looks a little different when you queue things up for demolition. Speaking of which, this track has been removed. I've removed this. It's gone now because I needed to remove it for the sake of the tunnels and stuff. And also because I want stuff in here. And so we're going to be placing buildings and stuff throughout this area. And I feel like with the roads going through here and all the people that are going to be walking and everything with this metro and everything, I just didn't want them crossing the tracks. So we're going above. We got a bridge right here that's kind of queued up for construction. It's going to come all the way over like this and down over here. So again, this is a really busy intersection right there. And this is going to end up being a pretty busy road too. And then combine that with the other roads. I just didn't want the rail to be there. So we're going to lift it up. And that has cut off the path from here all the way over into this area. The fuel train was disrupted by me doing that. It doesn't know how to get here. So this is just full of oil now. We can't pick up the oil from this place anymore. We have both of these full, and then the extra reserve tank is currently filling. And we're only getting it from one train because this one doesn't have, I don't know, it doesn't have any fuel on its way. I have to put a fuel stop or I have to switch to electric trains. Somebody mentioned in my comments, they're like, they think my electrification is further along than I think it is, which is a little bit of a weird thing to say considering I'm the one doing it. So it's not. There are a lot of electric tracks, but there aren't enough of them to fully connect the system for distribution trains. If I added an electric train, would it operate? Maybe. You know, it would probably have like one or two routes that it could do pretty consistently, and that would start to slowly transition, but it wouldn't be able to do a lot of the important ones. Like, for example, I can't do it for the fuel train because while I do have electric tracks all the way through here, they eventually stop. And they're not electrified here. They're not electrified through this. And they're not electrified at all through here. None of this is electrified. And so there's still plenty of tracks for me to do. All of this is completely unelectrified. All of this is completely not. You get in through here and you're going to start seeing electrification right about here. So this is, but none of the intersection is, and none of this is. Okay. And none of this is all the way out to Zernovsky over in here. Like, there's just certain parts that are, all right. And what we're doing, or what I'm trying to do, is I'm waiting for my electrical components to be made with a higher frequency. All right. I want these to be made in much higher amounts. All right. So you see this thing just sucking them all down. And making electronics is very expensive for that. So I probably should get the second building going. It's almost built anyway. It's just waiting on the work days. So I could get that going at any second. They would just come off the train, and then instead of walking to here, they would walk to here to build it, right? But I need to increase how much plastic I'm making before that can really shine. So there's no point in having a second building, maintaining a second building, and having workers split between the two buildings. There's no point in doing that if the raw resources that they need to generate that resource is gone, right? Like, I did it with steel, right? Steel is going really well. This isn't built yet, though. It's taking a bit. Concrete getting out this way. It takes a while to get concrete here, I guess. Let's let the helicopters bring it. Yeah. Let's let the helicopters bring it. And you know, I was thinking about it, like, we could have, and maybe I'll switch this up and have this change. I can move this office to be over here or something. But I was thinking about a heliport here, you know, like we did over here, to have lots of different people picking up concrete. But I honestly didn't think the helicopters like needed to. I felt like with asphalt specifically, it's okay if just the trucks are doing that. And there is a place to pick it up over there. But I didn't think it was necessary to add additional points for the helicopters. Because you have to remember, the helicopters, they only have one source, right? So like, these helicopters, they're going to pick up their asphalt from a specific source. And if there's nothing at that source, they're not going to go to a different source. Right? That's not how it works. Like, you only designate one source per office. But I do have two main construction offices with helicopters like this. So I could split that and put it here. So I'm thinking about doing that. I think it's probably a pretty valid idea. I did change these roads to where there's a roundabout here. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but I kind of redid these roads a little bit. They're all still dirt, but at least they're a little more organized than they were before. And if we were to put a helipad here for this, I mean, it would totally fit, you know, it would totally fit here. And then I could probably move this construction office to be, you know, right in this area instead. So I'll take a look at redoing that. It's not that big of a burden to do that. In fact, if I'm going to do it, I could even get started now by just, you know, getting the office started to be constructed, right? We could go into a 12 office is what I picked before. We'll dip into this field a little bit, or I could put it right here, I suppose. And then they leave this way to go get it, and then out they go. It's not that big of a change. But I'm going to have to disrupt this field anyway if I do that. Or I could put it back here and then have the road come around this way. There's options. It's not that big of a deal. But it's something that I'll probably do in the future. Yeah. All right. It's going to be a lot harder to see how things are working in the snow. And clearly we're not going to plow any of these roads. So that's not happening. This update for the game also added some new buildings. So residential buildings, for example, there's been some more mods incorporated into the base game. And so we have new flats that we can put in here, or at least they look different. I don't know if they're really new, but they certainly look different. And the one I'm looking at right now, I think I'm going to put this as 252 workers. I like that. 252 workers right here. So I'm going to put this in this little gap right here in Charlebinsk, where all the Dnipro flats are. We're going to put this right here, this longer building. And if we situate it right here next to the rail, it should be able to kind of reach everything we need it to reach. So I'm going to put it right here. And we should be able to get it to like this so that they can go and ride the train. We should be able to maybe get this one over here so that it goes, well, at least that direction. We need it to go that way, right? And then I think in order for it to reach the grocery store without any means of transportation, because I believe anyway, with what we have going right now, we're not going to be able to reach the grocery store. It's very close. We can't quite get there. We need a little bit extra help there. And it's probably because there's a stretch here where, yeah, it has to walk on this road to get over to that. So I think if I made a little bit more direct path, it might help. And one of the things I can do, I suppose, maybe if it lets me, is I was going to try to go right. Oh, this is already connected like that, so I can't do that. I mean, I could always go underground with a tunnel. But another thing would be just to add the lights. So I think I'm going to add lights to this walkway, actually. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea, too. So we're going to go in and say lights all the way to here. And there. And there. Might as well just do it all. All right, sure, that too. Why not? Just do these little segments here, I guess. And then if I can get it to maybe hit this walking path, maybe they'll choose to use this. This doesn't go all the way to the grocery store, though. I would really like it to get to the shopping center, right? And that's this path here. I could make these, I could upgrade this one, make it a little longer. This is already upgraded with lights as is. I think it's really just about, yeah, getting this to be, let's just do it this way. We'll go like this. Yeah, and then we can have it go around the train tracks like this. Yeah, that'll work. Well, I don't actually know if it'll work. I should probably check that. Will it work? No, not yet. Unless I'm clicking the wrong thing. And then finally we remove this part. Now I have a bit more of a direct route. I don't think it'll be enough still, but I'm going to go ahead and build it anyway, because I think this is a good stepping stone towards getting it to be enough. And then if I upgrade these later on, that'll certainly help as well. Maybe we'll just go ahead and start that process on that one right there. So get this part here upgraded. I think that'd be pretty good. And then I want to start getting housing over in this area too. Like, there's so many ideas, man. There's so many things I want to do in this game. Ugh, I just wish it happened faster. I've realized that's part of the challenge. Realistic mode, man. It's part of the challenge is things taking a long time. But man, oh man, would I love to have that running. So these are running now, and we have everything connected for this one. So they're primarily going to dump it in this one until it equals, right? They want to keep them equal, and they've been dumping in this one the whole time. So there are a lot of them are going to go into there now. But we're keeping up, right? If nothing else, the forklifts are very fast. And so now I need more workers in here. 7 is not good enough. 50 is the capacity for this building, and I want to get a little closer to it. And so just by judging and how... Oh, is this doing the thing again? No? I don't understand. Why are you full? But... Maybe it's just more biological waste. I mean, you have mixed waste. So you've been putting it in there. So what's the deal, man? I don't know. I think I'm going to need a couple of garbage trucks that just go around and pick up various different things. This one got emptied, thankfully. And this one's basically full. Oh, yeah. We need a lot more garbage trucks. And if nothing else, I think I need a train to do it. There's just too much biological waste here. And it's going to get turned into fertilizer automatically. You can see already, if I hover over top of this, that little fertilizer's in there already, right? Biological waste naturally turns into fertilizer over time. It's actually one of the principal reasons why my fields are at 150%. Because initially, when I started farming them, right, I didn't pick up all the crops. The crops turned into bio waste, which turned into fertilizer. Right, and that happens automatically. So all your fields eventually will hit 150 if you don't pick up all the crops. If you do, then you're at 100 and you need to fertilize the field. But if you don't pick up all the crops a couple of times, then your fields get fertilized to 150%. It just happens. The crops become waste, which becomes fertilizer, and then you can get them to 200% if you start incorporating liquid fertilizer, which is something that I will look at later once I have chemicals running really well, because chemicals are required for making lots of liquid fertilizer. So not quite ready for that yet. I don't have chemicals in sufficient quantity yet, but work on it later. I'm going to do that tiny little segment of road right there as well. If you play this game yourself, I encourage you to turn down the music every once in a while and just appreciate some of the little nuances that they've put in with sounds. And I've never noticed this before. I think this is probably new, this update, because I find it hard to believe that I've gone 1,400 hours plus in this game and not noticed this before, but maybe, I guess. But you can hear, listen, you get close to like an electrical area. You hear it? And it fades away too. Like that sound is actually emitting, you know? That's pretty cool. I've never noticed these like little tiny things like that are super cool. Like in addition to like the people talking and the traffic, the horns honking, things like that. It's just super cool, man. I gotta hear more of it, you know? I think it's one of the best ways to play games sometimes is just to turn off the music and listen to all the little sounds that they've put in the game for you. Because I'm sure somebody worked really hard on those sounds. And I want you to know, devs, I appreciate you. Look at this guy. Ain't nobody appreciating this guy. This guy he gone. But this is what I was talking about earlier, how they'll try to build this, right? And they'll just look at it, they're all lined up in just a huge traffic jam. And it's not my fault. It's just that this is a one-way street and they can't turn around. They're going to go and deliver resources to this, and then they can't go anywhere, right? And that's just what happens with this. So when you build these yourself, I recommend just making these dirt roads and then doing the one-ways, because, I mean, it certainly doesn't work as good for, like, your full planning, but it definitely takes a lot of your time to just have to sit here and babysit these guys, because as soon as they deliver all the goods, they need help going home. And so, yeah. Definitely would love it if the dev would make construction vehicles temporarily, like let's say, I don't know, let's say for the first 50 meters, even, 100 meters, let's give them a 100-meter grace period where a construction vehicle is immune to collisions and is allowed to travel backwards on a road, right? For a maximum of 50 meters or something, right? That way they would be able to, get out and get on this road and head back home, because this is a two-way street right here, and they can get here and go. We'll take a look over at steel. Now, this is constantly full of garbage, okay? And as this thing gets full of garbage, these guys, they have a hard time keeping up with things because they won't go pick up the garbage if... Oh, am I having electricity problems now? It would appear so, right there. Yeah. Helicopter, that's a completely different place, though. Might be a coal issue. Am I out of coal? Ooh, all right. I mean, we're not out. We got some left. I never got notified. Can I click that box? There we go. I want notified. If we're ever out of coal, I want to be notified. And then, of course, my traffic jam stuff is still happening. Beep, beep. Get out of here. Yeah, I know. All right. So anyway, over here, right, it's constantly full. But most of this waste is actually construction waste. Because a lot of this waste, it comes from the mines. Mines are huge producers of waste, and they primarily, it's construction waste, right? So if we had a way to gather construction waste, sorted, and we could bring that over and process it into gravel locally here, that would be kind of nice, right? I think so anyway, because like we're going to be building a lot of stuff through here. And as it currently stands, all of the gravel has to come from over there. Like, it's all over here. There's nothing over here. And so I thought maybe we could start collecting a local supply of gravel. And we could use the construction waste to do that. And of course, we're going to have to process it somewhere. And I'm trying to figure, like, where do I want to process this? And how do I get people to it, right? Because that's the main reason why there's nothing built over here that takes workers. Because, like, how do I get the workers there? But now we've got a functional, train stop right here. We can see that people do get off that train stop. And I don't really want to rob that supply, but it's a pretty, well, I would say it's an easy tunnel. And it is an easy tunnel because there's already tunnels built. The infrastructure for tunneling is already here. So all I'd really have to do is just tap into one of these and bring them over here, right? And that's doable. I don't want to, but it's doable to just bring it over here, right? And so they would get off this and then they come over here and then they work at whatever I tell them to work at, right over here. And so I'm thinking that's kind of what I want to do. I'd like to go into a gravel recycling plant. We could take this construction waste, turn it into gravel, and then we'll just have a local supply of gravel. It's not a super difficult thing to do. It's just taking up space that I would rather use on something else. That's the long and short of it, is I would rather use the space on something else, but it is what it is. So what I'll do, I guess, is we're going to place this unit. I think we'll place it here if I can get it to be a reasonable distance. Let's say maybe here is fine. Yeah, we'll place it right there. And then we can go into aggregates. And I think just like, I don't know, a small aggregate storage is probably fine. We don't need anything extravagant. And this can store the construction waste. Okay. So we'll place this. We'll flip it over. And we'll place this right here. And then our waste trucks. Man, it'd be nice to... Can I bring this closer to everything? I want to get rid of this stupid thing. It's still got 34 tons left in it, but I'd love to get rid of it. I think I will. I think I'm going to wait and put it right here instead. Because I think I want this all to be nice and tight with this. So I have to save as much room as possible over by where hopefully I'm going to have boats. So I'd end up putting it about here. The waste trucks would go ahead and directly drop it off in this storage. No big deal. And it would get loaded up into here from there. And maybe I can just... It doesn't have to be super tight, right? We can probably make do with this. I don't know. Like, I want to use that space, but it's not a big deal, right? I shouldn't make a big deal out of it. It ain't gonna be a big deal. All right, let's put this gravel recycling plant, and we'll put this right over here. About there is fine. And then we get our bigger storage. Where's the bigger storage? Right over here. Yeah, I mean, we could use these ones, or we could use the ones that are lighter on steel. But I mean, heavier on steel means lighter on everything else, and we make steel here, so might as well use the thing we make a lot. We have a lot of, so. And we could do it about here. This gives me room, I hope, for maybe being able to interface with boats later. If I bring this up closer to the road, like right here. Like right here. If I do something like that, it should allow me to maybe be able to interface with things on this side, on the coast or whatever here. Because I was hoping to maybe, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I would do here, but I just want to leave my options open, okay? I can always bring that coastline back and flatten this one out and, maybe have something to do with boats over here in the future, but I just don't know. Just want to leave my options open. So we have all of our conveyors are connected, right? Should be, yeah, there to here, all good. So we're gonna create this stuff. We'll do a gravel road here, might as well, and then another gravel road here is fine. And then we won't, yeah, because if we're gonna pick up the gravel, then we'll probably want to, yeah. All right, so we'll have another gravel road. Kind of moves off to the side and comes over. All right, let's do this smarter. I want to do it right up against this building. Come on. All right, I guess it's gonna have to be close enough. So we'll do about like that. And then what we'll need is a tunnel, underpass, whatever you want to call it. And we could actually kick it out really close, but you need enough room to be able to maintain them. So that means I need to be able to connect it to something else. I would say theoretically, this is going to be fine as is, and then they come out here and then they walk a little bit further. No big deal. Yeah, I think I can probably have it kicked out like right here, and that connects it directly to the road, so I won't have to worry about the maintenance of it. And then this can just come in. I don't know. We could just do that with gravel. So we'll have all the gravel done right here. And then finally, this tunnel can come in. Yeah, and we'll just have it connect, I guess, to that one. Assuming we do that, tell me you can reach that destination. There you go. Piece of cake. So they'll come in and they'll do that. And now, if I want to have more people working here, or I want to give them the freedom to get here on their own, and I do, then I can go in and we can make like a small optimized parking lot or something. I don't know if it doesn't probably matter, but whatever, we can do something like this. Yeah. And that's enough for like 10 cars to park here. I'll tell you what, like they're going to have to turn left and then left again. That's going to get clogged real quick. Never mind on that. These sound effects, man, they're definitely different. Maybe just the 6. I think just the 6. There's a lot of construction waste over here, though. Like the mines produce a lot of it. So it's not like we need a very small number of people here. Tell you what, we'll just put a large one in because it really doesn't make much of a difference. And how about we give it its own entrance and exit? I think we do. I think we give it its own thing right here. Put it right back here like this. And then we'll just have it, yep. Give it its own road. Sounds good. We're going to need power out this way. We probably need, we don't need heat in this, right? I don't think we need heat because that's kind of a factory thing. Let me see. Where is the building? We need... Gravel recycling plant does not have a hot water tank, so it doesn't need heat. Okay, good. Probably needs water, though. Daily water consumption. It does have daily water consumption. Will it be in range? Probably not. I didn't check. Let's check that, because that's important to know that. It will not be in range. But we have water trucks. That's what we have them for. Or we could say it's definitely in range of sewage, though. That's a good thing. I didn't really want to do any more sewage work. All my pipe spaghetti in here. Oh, my God. Yeah, so the closest water source is there. And I didn't go... Oh, I did go into a switch. Oh. All right, cool. I went into a switch. I didn't know that. All right. In that case, we can bring it over here. And I can just set it, I don't know, somewhere over in this area. That's fine. And we'll go about like this. I'm looking for it to be in range of anything in the future over here too, right? So let's just kind of, yeah, we'll bring it all the way over. Oh yeah, like in here, in this gap right here. Will you let me do that? Aw, man. That'd have been so good. Well, actually, we can do it like this too. This is fine as well. If I can get it to say yes. There we go. Sounds good to me. And then we'll just take a small one. Doesn't have to be very big, I don't think. And take this little small pipe and bring it all the way over like this. Ooh, gotta go lower. Right. Oh, come on. What you doing to me here? Right there, and then there. Okay. So that is going to take care of water. So we'll end up processing this construction waste predominantly. And so what I want to do, I'm going to have to build some more of these because they're very full and there's just nothing I can do about it except to get more garbage trucks, right? What I'm going to do, I think, is... God, these are all... None of them are getting repaired. That's bizarre. Missing aluminum. Well, that's fine. You can still do the cars. You're missing mechanical components as well. No, you're not. It's right here. Yeah, these are loaded up. They got all the stuff in storage right there. Way more steel than I'd ever need. Way more steel than I'll ever want here. How about we just put, I don't know. We'll say uranium oxide is the other ones. I don't want to have this much steel here. I really don't need this much steel here ever. So we're going to say uranium oxide occupies a significant portion of the storage, and we'll have 110 steel as our maximum there. I think that's much more appropriate. But yeah, I need another technical service office as well. This one's done. We have a technical service office here, which is responsible for... we have multiples on this city, but this one's going to be responsible for that. And it's also going to be what's bringing back the hazardous waste. And it gets brought back right here so that the train can go do it. And the train, speaking of which, we should have it go do it. So here's this. Right there. And we can say that we want you to load hazardous waste here. And we are going to have you send it to Le Border. I could probably... Yeah, well, I mean, we could just do this one, but I wanted it to kind of go that way. But it's fine. Have it go to the border then. Okay? And then, you know, I could theoretically have you pick up other types of waste here too. Like maybe I drop the construction. Ooh. Ooh. Hey, wait a minute. I still think it's a good idea to process it. into something useful. But in the meantime, because it'd take a while for that, right? In the meantime, we could store construction waste here. And then this is still going to have the hazardous. So the hazardous gets picked up here anyway, I think. If I could tell them the construction waste can go in this one, and the hazardous in this one, and the train can pick up both. That's not bad. You know, I've had ideas before, but that's not bad. All right, so how's this gonna work? Let me see. I gotta see it work. So the train track is done. I just want to see a train spawn and come and get it, you know? And I mean, you have been told to pick it up at 0%. But will you? That's the question I've had this entire time, is whether this would even work with the train. So far, I'm not convinced. This one's busy. This one's busy. All right, it could just be that I have trains are busy, right? It could just be that. Why don't we bring in another one? We'll buy one more. We'll have it sent here. And then if we can buy another one, maybe that train will go and do it, because the trains are busy right now. That's okay. So yeah, we definitely need more trains over here. I'm going to buy another one. I mean, I'm in money spending mode, right? Might as well. Here's another $1 million. There's a heat exchanger being built. So this heat exchanger is supposed to provide heat for the sports hall. And I also have nobody in the pool hall right now, the indoor pool. There ain't nobody in there right now because there's no heat there. So I don't want anybody in there. Despite that, we still get people waiting out front, which is silly because I've disconnected the road here. And I've also had this pause so that they can't come here. And they're still figuring out how to get here. So it looks like a couple of these buildings are still in range. Oh, yeah, they still are. They're still going to try. Well, at least it's few people. It's 7 people instead of 30 or 40 or 90 like I saw once. So, yeah, we don't want that. So this is the heat exchanger that was going to cover this entire area. The remainder of the area that is not currently inhabited on this island, on this area. It's not an island, but whatever. This area. Ooh, we should do an island. Huh? Not this one. It's too small. But actually, I have an idea for one. And it's right here. This one. I think this place could be kind of cool. As like a little, I don't know, it doesn't even have to have much of an economy. I mean, in general, you don't want to create a place unless that place has some sort of value to contribute to the whole, right? You don't want to have just like a place where people live and shop, right? They have to do something. There has to be jobs that produce something. But I thought, hey, for a touristy little place, you could have like a charming little old-fashioned little island right here, and then all I have to do is just excavate this so that it's all water right here. We'd just connect these 2 rivers right here, and then we'd have like a little island. Yeah, like Detroit's little Belle Isle right here. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. But yeah, so we could do an island here. But anyway, this heat exchanger is in range of anything else we would want to build in this area, as well as a little bit of stuff over here. And so this one, I got 2 choices, right? I can either have the heater over here and then have people walk to it like we are this one. And I thought about that because it would be a lot easier to build it really quickly, and we would, you know, be able to staff it really fast. We'd be able to heat everything really fast, but I'm trying to think long term. And when I'm thinking long term, I want my heater over here because this heater also needs to provide heat to this side of the city. All right. And it also needs to supplement the heat that's over here because I don't want this one doing all the work for this. So this heater needs to basically be responsible for, well, everything that's in the camera right about now. This needs to be responsible for. And so we're going to build another heater over here. And it's almost exactly the same build as this. I like this build. It's good. Probably won't use a 2500, admittedly. That was kind of a whoopsie. In fact, what I kind of want to do, since we have so much coal here, is I kind of want to put another heater here and see if I can't route it this way. If nothing else, just to give a little extra heat over here and a little extra heat over here right now. And then to have 2 heating plants for Charlemagne's North, which is what I was thinking of doing initially, is having 2 heaters here. But then I put the rail too close to it, and now it's going to be pretty challenging, I think, to get this out. With the, I don't know, maybe it's not that challenging, but I feel like it's going to be because the rail is too close, right? So there might be a way to get that out, but probably not. And that's just, again, it's a whoopsie on my part. I can probably get away with it if I just tear the rail down, build this, and then put the rail, let the rail like zigzag between it, right? I could probably get away with that. Not a huge deal right now, but it's something that I'm, thinking about. So anyway, my heater needs to be over here with another coal storage, and then that will feed over here. And it should be about 950 away from where I want to be. I spaced it out so that I won't need one of the these pumping stations. I don't like pumping stations. I don't want to use them. So I measured this out to be about a little over 900. So the port to get the heat tapped into is right here. And then it goes out about this far. So the heating plant would be about here. And then as long as you don't go over 1,000, you don't need to use a pumping station. So yeah, that's the next project, but it's taken a while. Okay. I've been playing this all day. It's hard, guys. It really is. I'm having such a good time playing this that I keep going. But oh man, when I think about the quote unquote the health of the channel, if you will, right? I have to play other games too because viewership, like it's reasonable to assume that it's not going to sustain itself past 130 videos, right? So I have to keep playing other games too. Otherwise the channel just kind of really dies down and viewership just tanks. And then it's not worth spending all day playing this for one video when I have to pay $80 for my daughter to be in daycare for that day, right? Like that's the thing. It's like if the day to play games didn't cost me $80, then I'd feel a lot different about it, but it does. Daycare is so expensive, man. But I'm gonna keep going with it because I'm having a ton of fun. But I don't know if I can sustain 3 videos a week like I have been trying to do before. I think I have to focus on some other content in order to really sustain everything. Hey, buses, you wanna? At least they still have workers on them. A lot of times I'll find them all lined up and they don't have anybody on them. It's all the workers timed out. It'll be so nice when this tunnel is done. Still 5,900 days. So many work days. But I'm not letting the helicopter do this. It's so expensive. Foreign labor is so expensive. So I'm not having helicopters do these things. This is all done by us. All right. This is our own homegrown blood, sweat, and tears right here. And yeah, pretty much everybody is working together to help the collective common good. Yeah. I really want to connect this rail. It's disruptive to my oil and my fuel supply because I really need to get access to this again. And I can't do that because the fuel train, for some reason, it won't come from this direction. I don't know why it's not doing that. It should come from this direction, but it doesn't. So I have to look at that too. But it's possible that this connection point here is just after. I think that's probably what it is. I think I'm looking at it and I think that's exactly what it is. These two here are this point, and this comes in at maybe this point. And so if these two rails are coming in connected here, and these are connected here, then that means that this connection cannot transfer to this connection. And so it has to go this way, right? And that's most likely what it is. Just looking at the rail here, I'm pretty confident that that's what's happening. This is coming in and connects to this, and this is connecting to this. But that's okay. I don't mind too much. I just have to get this rail reconnected, and in order to do that, I have to plan out what's going to be here and where the roads are going to be, so then I can make this bridge go all the way across and then call it good. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna plan a little bit more in this area in the next video. That's gonna happen too. We have this flats going in, which is great. We're up to almost 50,000 people. And for those of you who are concerned about orphanages, they're not bad. They're okay. All right. We're not going to get any mass death waves. We're going to be fine. However, I do need more. I need to build more. I recently built another one over here. This one's somewhat new. I think it's been around for a couple years, but it's there. I'm gonna build a couple more orphanages out this way too. I'm not entirely sure where I'm gonna put them. They need to be in range of the heat, of course. I might put them over by the nuclear waste. Take care. We'll see ya. Bye bye.